Mr. President, we have some video birthday cards for you. It's time to watch television. First, let me introduce to you by video His Excellency from Poland, Lech Walesa.
Panie prezydencie, pańskie urodziny to okazja
Mr. President, your birthday is an occasion to send you best wishes and greetings that I am doing with great joy on behalf of the Polish people and myself. As the President of the United States, you were, in the 80s, the most respected and popular politician in Poland. We admired and still admire your involvement, your determination, and your vision of the free world. We felt a special bond with you. Our mutual understanding allowed us to effectively act in unison. We got out of communism. It is hard to imagine today's Europe and world without your politics. Standing on the two sides of the Berlin Wall, we were trying to reach out our hands. We were breaking the wall slowly, without violence, but effectively. And eventually, only last September, I was able to personally shake your hand and thank you for what you have done for Poland and the world. You told me that had you been in Gdansk in 1980, you would have jumped over the shipyard fence with me. Today I desire to shake your hand again and to say, 100 lat, 100 years, Mr. President.
100 lat, panie prezydencie.
The Right Honorable Brian Mulroney.
Mr. President, chers amis, I am delighted to join family and friends tonight in saluting President Reagan on his 80th birthday. Canadians and Americans have had a unique relationship since the founding of our country in 1867. And as Ronald Reagan once said, he knows, because he's been around for much of that time. In fact, Canadian history will record that Mila and I did something absolutely unique with Ron and Nancy Reagan. We sang When Irish Eyes Are Smiling on a stage in Quebec City in front of more than 2,000 people. And I was reelected in spite of the performance. But Canadians and countless millions of others around the world will always remember, above all, the words spoken by President Reagan at his inauguration on January 20th, 1981. We must realize, he said, that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and free women. Among those who have brilliantly and steadfastly exemplified that will and courage of free men and women, Ronald Reagan will always hold a special place. President Reagan's successful leadership of the United States and his remarkable contribution to the cause of peace in the world have secured for him already an enviable place in modern history. But those of us who served with Ron will remember him best as a friend, good-natured and generous and loyal. Mila and I have been honored by our association with Ron and Nancy Reagan. To both of you tonight, we send our warmest regards and our best wishes for a well-deserved and most rewarding time together.
His Excellency, Dr. Helmut Kohl.
Lieber Ron, zu Ihrem 80. Geburtstag.
Dear Ron, please accept my warmest congratulations and those of your many friends in Germany on your 80th birthday. We all know that during your term of office as President of the United States, you were committed to ensuring peace and freedom in our country too, principles to which you held firm even in difficult times. You have always been a reliable friend of we Germans.
Unvergesslich sind Ihre Besuche bei uns in
I shall never forget your visits to Germany, particularly to Berlin.
standen gemeinsam
We were standing together in front of the Brandenburg Gate when you spoke those now famous words,
Herr Gorbatschow.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. We have both had the satisfaction of seeing this wish come true and the unity of the German people restored at long last.
Einheit wiedergefunden haben. Ich wünsche Ihnen
I wish you many more years of happiness and fulfillment together with Nancy and with your family.
erfüllte Jahre. Gottes Segen.
God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, George Bush.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, and of course Nancy Reagan, who was such a gracious First Lady and whose anti-drug crusade stirred a nation and touched countless lives. Let me say a special hello to Ms. Thatcher, a staunch ally of America who became the very embodiment of Great Britain. Most of all, my friend and mentor who loved his country and served her well, President Ronald Reagan. From the life of nations emerged great figures, Churchill, Sadat, Dwight Eisenhower, Margaret Thatcher. All showed, as was said of Charles de Gaulle, that greatness knows no national boundaries. Each changed the course not only of their country, but of history. And so it was and is of the 40th President of the United States. Some men reflect their times. Mr. President, you helped change your times. You were a visionary, a crusader, an evangelist for good, which is why I say they'll get you on Mount Rushmore yet. Today, Ronald Reagan is 80 years old, yet as young as the American spirit. You often spoke of America as a shining city on a hill and helped make it so, embodying what you described as the American song, hopeful, big-hearted, idealistic, daring, decent, and fair. Think of America. You helped restore faith in our nation and in ourselves. Think of the world. You knew that human dignity forms the essence of democracy. So you spoke loudly and eloquently for freedom's values and ideals. From Korea to Normandy, you lit the morning star of liberty, not only making ours a safer, but a far better world in which to live. Over the past few weeks, we've sought to preserve that world and to create a new world order by defending freedom against Iraq. Like all Americans, I have rejoiced at the success of our missiles and planes, at our technical advantage. It didn't happen by accident. It happened because of Ronald Reagan's commitment to a strong defense. Mr. President, you believe passionately that no American should be asked to fight unless equipped with the very best. So you made our military strong and proud, and I thank you for that. The courage and vision that marked the defense budgets of your 8 years as president are now paying off for every American in the seas and on the sands of the Gulf. In closing, let me end on a personal note. I want to thank you for your many kindnesses to Barbara and me, and I want to thank you for your confidence. And I know full well I would not be president today were it not for your vote of confidence in me 11 years ago when you chose me as your running mate. God bless you and Nancy, and may God bless Prime Minister Thatcher and those courageous men and women of the United Kingdom who are fighting shoulder to shoulder with us in the Gulf. And God bless these United States of America.
Mr. President and Nancy, this introduction of this next young man is of great personal joy to me. I believe it was the middle 1980s when you were running for your second term. And I was taping my show here in Hollywood, and a young man came on, I didn't know, with a new song. And he sang it, and the audience stood at the end of it in the studio and cheered him and his song. rarely happened at a television taping. I called Nancy at 11 o'clock Washington, D.C. time at night and said, Nancy, the most extraordinary song was just done on my show. And I said, this young man had the place torn to pieces with a song that really should be Mr. Reagan's song for his reelection. And I said, I'm going to ship it to you tonight because nobody will hear or see this show for 3 weeks. And we'll have a jump on anybody else that might have an idea. She said, send it. And I sent it, and I said, please make sure the president hears it. I called her the next day, and she said, it's gone to the Republican National Committee. Just wait and you see what happens. He loved it. And I waited. The next thing I heard was the news, who said Ronald Reagan flew with this extraordinary young man, to Greenwood, to Nashville, Tennessee, to appear on Grand Ole Opry. And you introduced him there. He sang the song, and America has fallen in love with Lee Greenwood's great song. Here he is to sing it live for you. God bless the USA, Lee Greenwood.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Lee.
Thank you. My good wishes for a long life, Mr. Reagan. All of us who were involved with you in any part of your life, Merv and I talked about the times that we've known you. You have treated each and every human being with great respect, and we know you care for each and every one of us. We care for you, too. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Talked earlier, introducing Lod Cook, about those wonderful Arco commercials that we see about the state of the air of California. It'll make a big difference now with Pete in there too. He's out, big fans up in Sacramento, blowing it towards Oregon. And that was a great idea, Pete. But if you've seen those commercials, you've seen the most extraordinary chorale singing their version of I'm Beginning to See the Light. And I love that commercial. And it helps me breathe, too. We're very pleased to present all 50 of them, the Ricky Grundy Chorale.
We've come to say thank you. We've come just to thank you, Lord, for making. We have come just to say thank you for making a way. Thank you for you. Every time, oh, and now I'm so free, and everything we can pray, hallelujah, and everything we can pray, and everything we can pray. Everything, hallelujah, for the Father, hallelujah, for the Son, hallelujah, for the Holy Ghost. Give God the praise. Now, we come humbly before you in song and praise to magnify your name. See, my God is worthy. Come on, put your hands together. My God is worthy of every praise. I will bless the Lord for my soul, for He's worthy. Hey, say hallelujah. Give God the praise. Hey, my soul is holly in the morning. Soul is holly. Hey, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm singing, hallelujah. Hey, we lift our voices. Hey, to the Father, and to the Son, to the Holy Ghost. We sing that make one. Working love, the singing nothing. For His grace, the singers like me. Yeah. We lift our voices. Hey,
and he died to make men holy. Let us die to make men free.
The Ricky Grundy Chorale.